Salute, Talk Nation, man. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for coming back and checking out another video. It's fight night. It's fight night. Somebody go win night. Jamel Herring, Carl Frampton. It's going down, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Top Rank ESPN Plus. That's where the fight is going down. Tune in. If you guys are in Dubai, you're going to be in for a hell of a show, man. Jamel Herring, savvy veteran, literally veteran. You know what I'm saying? Ex-Marine, Carl Frampton, Ireland's own. He's fighting for pretty much, he's trying to be Ireland's best. You know what I mean? But look, it ain't going to be easy. You know what I mean? Jamel Herring, you know what I mean? Savvy southpaw. Carl Frampton, you know what I mean? Coming in orthodox style. Loves to mix it up. You know what I mean? Get on the inside. I think between the two, the better boxer is probably Jamel Herring. But let's get into the tail of the tape real quick, fight fans. Jamel Herring stands at 22, 2, and 10 knockouts. Currently holds the WBO super featherweight champion. As I said, he's a savvy southpaw, former veteran, Semper Fi. I'm a former veteran myself. You know what I mean? Army all day. Age 35. He's the senior into this fight to Carl Frampton. I believe he's 34 years of age. He stands at 5'10", reach 72 inches, and he's coming from home of the Ohio players, man. You know what I mean? Carl Frampton, 28, 2, and 16 knockouts, alias the Jackal. One of my favorite movies, by the way. Age, as I said, 34. Orthodox stands at 5'5", shorter of the two fighters, 65-inch reach. Now, residence, as I said, Ireland's own. Shout out to Ireland, man. Love that Irish Spring. It smells beautiful. You know what I mean? The Jackal, a.k.a. Carl Frampton, he's a shorter fighter in this fight. But his style, being as though he likes to get in on the inside and kind of bang it out and mix it up, he's going to have to do that. He's going to have to close that distance. Jamel Herring, he has the range, he has the height, and he has a good jab. And he loves to utilize that jab. Jamel Herring is also decent on his feet. And like I said, by him being a southpaw, that's a problem for any orthodox, especially if you're a good southpaw. Now, Jamel Herring is going to have to utilize his jab. As I said, he has a nice, quick, and at times solid jab. And he's going to have to utilize that because Carl Frampton is going to try to rough him up, try to beat him up. That's the only way that he can win the fight. He can't outbox Jamel Herring because he's the shorter fighter. He doesn't have the reach. Like I said, his reach is 65. Jamel Herring is 72. He's a shorter fighter, has a shorter reach, so he's going to have to close in that distance, but he's going to have to be smart because you do not want to get caught with a shot trying to close in that distance. Now, by him doing so, he's going to have to watch out for Jamel Herring's uppercut. That's one of the best ways to stop not only a fighter, but especially a shorter fighter trying to close that distance, try to come, especially if he's coming in fast. You know what I mean? It's throw that uppercut to the body or that uppercut, to the head. That'll slow all that traffic up, you know what I mean? And after he does that, he's going to throw that jab back out there, reestablish that distance, reestablish his dominance as far as his range. Now, if Jamel Herring for some reason doesn't utilize his jab, then he's going to be in trouble because Carl Frampton is tough, very gritty. Doesn't mind taking a couple of shots to get a shot or a couple of shots off. So, knowing this, Jamel Herring's going to have to fight a smart fight. But at the same time, he's going to have to fight also, as I said, a physical fight. Because Carl Frampton, that is the key to victory for him. He's going to have to be physical. He's going to have to be physical. And by him being a shorter fighter, I believe Jamel Herring is also probably going to come into this fight, you know what I mean, slightly the bigger guy. Not as far as height, but also as far as weight. But we're going to have to see how these guys rehydrate. Now, Carl Frampton, keys to victory, body shots. Although his jab may not have the same range as Jamel Herring, okay, he's going to have to jab to the body. Utilize his feet, step around, come, you know what I'm saying, with that left or that right hook to the body, you know what I'm saying, make sure he covers up and start popping that jab, you know what I mean? Start popping that jab. If you got to go jab for jab with Jamel Herring, do so, you know what I'm saying? But if he does not utilize his jab and does not go to the body, Jamel Herring is going to dance around Carl Frampton all night. You know what I mean? Just jab, jab. You know what I mean? Catching you 1-2. You know what I mean? When he starts moving his feet, look out. You know what I'm saying? You know he's a southpaw, so look out for that right hook. And he also loves to throw that check hook too. Jamel Herring is good at throwing that check hook. So Carl Frampton is going to have to be very, very careful. You know what I mean? He said this is a dangerous fight for Jamel Herring. He wasn't saying as far as himself. That's quite a statement. But Carl Frampton is a great fighter. Great fighter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, both fighters only have 2 losses on their record. But I believe since Jamel Herring's last loss, he has won 6 straight. Since Carl Frampton's last loss, he has won, I believe, about 2 or 3 straight. You know what I mean? So between the two, the win streak has to fall in the win column of Jamel Herring. So, and like I said, he's used to training with you know what I mean, the likes of Chance Crawford, being over there with Bomac and company. So he's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be all right. You know what I mean? He's coming from a very good place. You know what I mean? So Carl Frampton is going to be a tough fight. I mean, he's saying as far as, I guess, it's going to be a tough fight for Jamel Herring because he's going to be bringing the heat, but he's going to have to bring the heat. Like I said, he's a smaller guy. And as they say, a talented big man beats a talented little guy all day. We're going to have to see if that remains to be true, because if that little guy got heart and got skill and that big man doesn't use his tools like he should use his tools, we see evidence of this when you watch Canelo Alvarez fight. His last couple of opponents, you know what I'm saying, were bigger than him. But if you do not utilize your size correctly, you know what I'm saying, namely utilizing your jab, maintaining your distance, punishing the guy when he comes in close and cuts off the ring, it's going to be an easy fight. And you're going to wind up, you know what I'm saying, stopping or knocking the guy out. I don't think it's going to be the same way for Jamel Herring. You know what I mean? These guys are coming from a lighter weight class, you know what I'm saying, lighter, a lot more mobility. Jamel Herring does have pretty good movement. I didn't see the same movement from Carl Frampton, but you never know what guys are working on. But I will say this, because I've said it before, if a fighter is not used to doing something as far as movement, defense, offense, whatever, if he is not used to doing something and not comfortable with doing something, and your coach, trainer, if he wants to utilize and bring that or put that a part of your game plan moving into this next fight, it's going to be difficult, because a lot of fighters have habits, and those habits are built in. It's taken many years, many fights for these habits, you know what I mean, to take place, and to break fighters out of these habits. It's going to take more than one fight. It's going to take more than one training camp. So to say what Carl Frampton, you know what I mean, will bring to the table and leave behind, is hard to say. That's also what makes the fight intriguing, you know what I mean? So will he elude from being, you know what I mean, the aggressive fighter, trying to, you know what I mean, like I said, take a couple of shots just to get onto the inside to close that distance so he can attack Jamel Herring's body? Or will he try to box Jamel Herring, you know what I mean, cut off the ring, and when he gets his opportunity, then he comes in close, you know what I mean, goes low, goes high? Will he do that? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We have to see how, like I said, the first, I'm going to say the first 4 rounds of this fight is going to not only be pivotal, but it's going to show fight fans, it's going to show everybody possibly how this fight is going to end. You know what I mean? I believe that Carl Frampton is possibly going to try to come out, you know what I mean, a little bit aggressive. Jamel Herring may be passive, you know what I'm saying, starting to box, feel Carl Frampton out, you know what I mean, see what he's going to do, you know what I mean, pick his shots, time him, or roles can reverse, you know what I mean, it could be the exact polar opposite, you know what I mean, you never know how things are going to work out in a fight. You come into that fight, you step into that ring, before that bell rings, you have a game plan. You talk to your coach, remember we worked on in the gym, yada, 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 so on and so forth. But once that bell rings and those lights are on, and more importantly, the first time that you get hit, that is what is going to show, not only show how you are, but it's also going to show how this fight is going to pretty much end. You know what I mean? Some fighters respond well once they get hit, you know what I mean? Some fighters, you know what I'm saying, they get a little reclusive, you know what I mean? They kind of get on their bike and start pedaling around the ring. we're going to see how this fight is going to be. As I said, between the two, the Jackal has the most knockouts. You know what I'm saying? That's coming from that aggression. Jamel Herring, I don't think being aggressive is going to play to his advantage in this fight. But if he manages to get Frampton hurt, he's going to have to put his foot on the gas, attack, and try to get him up out of there. You know what I mean? No need to allow this fight, you know what I mean, to drag on. If Jamel Herring gets the opportunity to attack and possibly finish Frampton off, I believe that he should go for it. Try to get him up out of there. You know what I mean? Don't string him along and try to, you know what I mean, take him into deep water and finish him off. No. You know what I'm saying? Frampton generally comes to the fight in pretty good shape. Also, Jamel Herring, you know what I'm saying, always comes to the fight in pretty good shape. Doesn't generally gas out in fights. But the spade of this fight could possibly be both of those game plans are out the window. And these guys could possibly come into this fight with one thing on their mind: war. Like I said, both of these guys, 35 years of age, Herring, 34 years of age, Frampton. Both of these guys are coming into the fight. I ain't gonna say they old, but you know what I'm saying? How many fights do they have left? You know what I mean? So at this point, you are trying to solidify, quote unquote, your legacy moving forward. Because why? You possibly on your way out. You know what I mean? Depending upon, who you have or who you willing to face, these guys may not have that many fights left in the tank. Not because they're physically incapable of performing, but just because, you know what I mean, they may just, you know what I mean, age out of the division. You know what I mean? And I think they're too old to move up or move down at this point. You know what I mean? Those weight fluctuations on their body at this state of the game could be detrimental, you know what I mean, to their performance. So this is their division. This is their time. How will they go out? You know what I mean? Will it be a war? Who knows? But fight fans, I'm going to catch you guys after the fight. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a good fight. Keys to victory for Jamel Herring. Utilize his jab. Utilize your movement. Do your best to offset Frampton, you know what I mean, his timing and him coming in. Keys to victory. And also utilize the uppercut for Jamel Herring. Keys to victory for Frampton. Aggressiveness. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you protect yourself, because you already know you're the smaller guy coming in, and you're going to have to kind of expose yourself to get in and to get your shots off. So defense is going to be key. Going to have to come in at high guard, but you're also going to have good head movement, and your footwork side to the side in this fight is going to have to be good. You know what I mean? And your angles are going to have to be good. Utilize cutting off the ring and the body shots. You know what I'm saying? The jab to the body for Frampton, that's probably going to set up a lot of his offense, especially if he's aggressive coming in. We'll see how things play out. But I catch you guys after the fight. Stay tuned, stay humble, stay blessed, stay motivated, protect yourself at all times, guard up and mask up. Why? Because it's a war going on outside, and ain't nobody safe from it. Fight fans, it's your boy, man. I'ma holler at you guys. See you next round. Peace. Talk Nation. Stand up. It's your boy.